if you have a toaster on your counter, after 6 years, you'll weigh about 3 more pounds. I'm sorry, after 3 years, you'll weigh 6 more pounds than the same person that doesn't have a toaster on their counter.
Wow.
Why? Because most of us are on a seafood diet. We see food, we eat it. So a toaster prompts us to put something in our toaster when we walk through the kitchen. And there's very little we put in our toaster that produces a healthy outcome. Same with salty chips. You see these clips, put your salty chip, put those away. I'm not saying you can't eat salty chips, but if you put them down low in a junk food drawer or around the corner in a pantry, you're not prompted to eat them every time you walk through your kitchen. It makes a huge difference over time. People who have cereal on their counter, cereal is generally an unhealthy way to start your breakfast. Almost all of them have more salt and or sugar than crappy snacks. Cheerios has more salt than potato chips do. People don't know that.
Wow.
And it's just a bad way to start your day. If you have a cereal box people with a cereal box on their counter weigh more than 10 pounds more over about a 5-year period than people who don't have cereal boxes on their counter. So my approach is not to guilt you for having Fruit Loops. My approach is say, all right, if you have Fruit Loops, put them in your pantry. Instead, put out a fruit bowl. And the one thing I want you to do per week is keep the fruit bowl full. And the fruit bowl in the middle of your table, well lit, is going to remind you, that's there for a purpose. Mm-hmm. Keep that full. So you're mindless. Your default is an apple or an orange or grapes or a banana, whatever it is. That makes a difference over time.
There's so much confusion around diet. For instance, you don't eat meat. Some of these people eat meat. The plant paradox, and then the whole food plant-based diet. Shine some light on how you navigate that confusion with your audience and your followers and the people that...
Right. So I aggregate science. And if you want to know what...
Everybody claims they aggregate the science, but then they all
You're right.
You're
right. Yeah, you can support any point of view with some scientific paper. But I've gone a step. It's harder to support a fringe belief with a meta-analysis. So a meta-analysis is a lot of scientific studies that are kind of averaged out around a topic. So my approach, I'm interested in a diet that will get you to a healthy age 100. And if you want to know what a 100-year-old ate to live to be 100, you have to know what she was eating as a little girl. Chocolate pancakes. And
We're not starting off well in this household.
You have to know what she ate at middle age and newly retired and lately. You can't just ask a centenarian, what do you eat? Because they don't remember. If I asked you, what did you have for dinner a week ago Tuesday? Could you tell me?
Oh, God. No.
Most people can't. So how can you ask a centenarian, what did you eat to live to be 100? They don't know. But universities and governments have done, over the past 80, 90 years, in all 5 blue zones, dietary surveys where they're done in a range of ways, but the least strong ones just ask people to self-report what they've eaten over a 2-week period, and they can remember pretty well, at least the last 48 or 36 hours. The better ones, they actually put a researcher who goes and lives in people's houses and watches exactly what they eat and weighs it. In fact, the Mediterranean diet, that's how rigorous the Mediterranean diet was recorded. But I worked with Harvard, a scientist named Walter Willett, and we aggregated 155 dietary surveys done in all 5 blue zones over the last 90 years. And when you average it out, it's very clear. And all 5 blue zones, the trend is the same. They're eating mostly whole food, plant-based. I mentioned before, meat 5 times a month. But the 5 pillars of every longevity diet in the world are whole grains, corn, rice, and wheat, a staple in all. And by the way, I know we tend to malign rice, but the 15 countries with the highest healthy life expectancy all eat white rice every day. So go figure. A second component is greens or garden vegetables. A third component is tubers. Potatoes and sweet potatoes, especially in Okinawa, 70% of their calories came from purple sweet potatoes until 1980 or something. Nuts, a handful of nuts a day actually is associated with 2 extra years of life expectancy. And the cornerstone of every longevity diet in the world is beans. So they're getting protein not from beef, not from chicken or pork or some, soy isolate that they put in their smoothie. They're eating a cup of beans a day. So when I sort of promote a Blue Zones diet, I'm just saying, well, here's what the longest lived people ate their whole life. They didn't develop cardiovascular disease or 40% cancers or dementia. You might want to think about it too.